Welcome back. As you know, we have technical difficulties every now and then.
Yes,
but we're coming right back.
We're
coming right back to you.
But we were talking about the impeachment process when we were cut off. And that process in and of itself is a multifaceted, but it's not that difficult. We talked about the articles of impeachment that must be drawn up and submitted to the Congress. Then you went on to say that then 2/3 of the Senate has to vote to impeach.
This is
and
why
what happens next?
I want to make sure you understand the difference between why when Clinton was impeached. Now, impeachment was told by telling two lies. One, by indicating that he didn't have sex, and we know that whole story, and then by omission. If you omit any information, it's the same thing as a lie. Even though it was determined that he gave those two falsehoods,
yes,
he did not get 2/3 of the Senate that actually impeached him out of office. And the impeachment itself can only be done by the Supreme Court justice from the Supreme Court.
Well, ultimately, they preside.
They preside over
the
impeachment.
They preside.
But 2/3 of the
trial.
Senate chose not to impeach him out of office. And I think at the time, the majority of the Senate may have been Democrat. That may have been the reasoning.
That may have been what happened also, but I had the impression that he actually was impeached. But the last
well,
step,
you have impeach, and
right.
then you have the actual impeachment that actually takes you out of office.
Basically, get out.
Right.
So
you
the get
can
out
be
part
impeached.
didn't happen with Clinton.
We can determine that this guy can be impeached just from the lies that he's told now. Now, then it has to. Right now, we have to understand that the Republicans have the Senate.
They control the Senate.
And
they control
the
the
House.
Senate, the House. They control
the House.
So it is highly unlikely, at least at this juncture, that
we have to believe that there are enough honest Republicans that they have to have a boiling point where their position on behalf of their constituents has to be more important than stroking the ego of 45.
Well, and not only just their constituents, because if you go by their constituents, let's even take the bar a little bit higher and hope that the oath that they took to the United States of America overrides everything. Because if they believe in the tenets of the United States Constitution,
and remember, they want to be strict constitutionalists. They want that First Amendment. But see, we know who his constituents aren't. Because remember at the press conference, when April Ryan had asked him when is he going to speak to the Congressional Black Caucus and Hispanic Black Caucus, he goes to April Ryan. Can you make that appointment for me? What is his House Ninny Omarosa?
She's the chief. She's in charge of communications.
I call her the House Ninny. Well, the House Ninny, isn't that her job? Doesn't she know another black person?
To reach out.
I mean, why would he ask a news correspondent whether she can set up has this man been in office for a month and he has not talked to the Congressional Black Caucus, he has not talked to the Hispanic Black Caucus, and the Pacific Islanders and the Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. That was a commission that was done under Clinton.
Yes,
they've resigned. They've resigned.
Almost their entire body resigned.
They believe that under this president, who they wrote a letter to on the 19th, asking to have
January,
the 19th, the day before, they were already asking to have a seat at the table. He has not even recognized that they even exist.
Has not responded to the letter. And one of the reasons that commission, at least 10 of the 14 members of that commission indicate that they resigned, is because they don't believe that the rhetoric that is coming out of the White House, which appears to be anti-immigrant and anti-America, will serve their purpose, and they will not have a voice at the table.
Let me tell you, the insult to injury was, while Pence is doing America's business overseas, Donald Trump is still campaigning for a presidency that he already. Why the man doesn't understand that he's already president is beyond me. But he believes that his base. It's like rabid dogs. Like a rabid dog, just biting everybody, and they're foaming at the mouth. There was a man last night.
Yes.
Come on, there was a man last night that said he has a 6-foot figure of Donald Trump that he bows to every day. And remember that lapdog Omarosa said she said that people will bow down
to Donald Trump.
She said that bow down.
Bow down. Bow down.
Now,
that
Latinini said that. Latinini said that. Okay? The Latinini that obviously knows no black people to talk to ask, to speak to for this, for 45. He has no one that he has direct conversation with.
Give the 45th a break because he had a very rough week last week. So he had to have that pep rally to make him feel good.
Then he had a nerve to have some other little lapdogs in the back with blacks for Trump 2020, women for Trump. Now
they'll be ripping those signs up soon. Women for Trump, blacks for Trump, now, any other group that is currently for the 45th. They're going to rip those signs up because the whirlwind that he took us on last week, it's only going to get worse.
Are so intense that the man. Let me jump off of a lie to another insult that I have to get it out.
Yes,
I went to church today. That's why I have my Alpha Kappa Alpha shirt on. We were recognizing the African American for fraternity and sorority, and Roz and I are both Alpha Kappa Alpha women. But last night, the First Lady, as they got off, when he said he wasn't going to use Air Force One as a prop, but he was. These people had been out there since 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
They were out there 12, 13 hours.
Yes.
He rolls up in Air Force One.
Yes.
He slowly makes his way to the podium. Instead of him coming to the podium, the First Lady, Melania, comes to the podium. And she gives her First Lady, in her very, very immigrant accent. Because she is an immigrant, remember, and he's married to an immigrant.
Right.
So in her very deep immigrant accent, she said what she wanted to do as First Lady and how her husband was going to make America great again. And then she starts in, now most of you who are Christians or who go to church or who have a God that you worship, there's usually a preamble before you start to pray. She did say, let us pray, but she went in so fast into let us pray. Then she starts reading the Lord's Prayer. Now you could tell. Now the first prayer you ever learned.
I have no problem with the Lord's Prayer, but what I do have
everybody in this country is not a Christian.
The presentation should have been non-denominational. In my opinion.
Well,
but it's clear.
He started off with a black preacher to give the prayer, but when it was an insult to me, to have and his immigrant wife is not as an insult to me. You can marry whoever you want, but for someone to be against immigration as much as he is. And
with respect to Muslims
and then she
refugees
reads the Lord's Prayer, and then at the end. She just gives a blunt amen, and then he goes, oh, I didn't know she was going to do that. Give her a hand. Yes. This man is walking around while she's reading the Lord's Prayer. That tells you for all of you who you believe
no respect
that this man has any notion of God. He believes he's God. This man wants to be worshipped. He salivates off of the worship, like when that man came up there last night,
he was like, he needed to get filled up again by having a rally. He had to be filled up again by having a rally.
We have to stay on this man. We cannot allow this. I mean, the man spent 5 years lying on President Obama.
Yes,
not once was he made to apologize.
Well,
he has never apologized for anything.
What a lie does and why he's doing it and why he tries to deflect. Or, I don't know why he's doing it, but this is the effect. He's gaslighting. These are some of the tactics of a sociopath to make you feel like you're insane or to make you question what the truth actually is.
It's a mind game. I'm telling you, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Jim Jones is now 45. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. I'm telling you. Drink the Kool-Aid, but you can find it out there somewhere because he's trying to start a war among us here in the United States. He's pitting blacks against whites, religions against religions, nationalities against nationalities.
The divider in chief.
This is a scary time,
ladies and gentlemen. It's a very scary time.
But our purpose is not here. I mean, we're going to explain the law to you as people who are lawyers. We're not here to give you legal advice. We're not here to tell you what will happen if you go to court. But there's some things that are just general. A lie, everyone knows that when you go to court, the first thing you do is swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When the president came in, when he's inaugurated in the Supreme Court justice, he takes an oath to the Constitution.
And embodied within that oath, one would think, would be to tell the truth to the American people and not to engage in bombast
every day
and fake news himself, as well as his staff.
But what he does is he called everyone else a liar. So and what he does is deflect. Soon as you present him with the truth, you're a liar. You're all liars. You're disgusting. I mean,
he did admit to being wrong with the Electoral College when pulled on the carpet by that reporter who indicated,
and then goes right back and says that the next day that the biggest electoral college ever than the whole wide world. Remember, he is the smartest. He knows more than the generals. He knows more than everybody. He doesn't need to consult with anyone. He doesn't even need to speak to the.
He not only lies, but I also don't like the fact that he's very cavalier with the information that he does possess.
No, he tells it in his own. He gives you his own version.
He's very casual in his presentation of resolving serious issues. If you recall, he was asked by a reporter at that one of the
Jewish reporter,
who asked him, "What do you have to say, or what are you going to do about the rise in anti-Semitic incidents of bullying and acts?"
I'm the most anti-Semitic person that you should ever know in life. I mean,
that's an answer. And you know, the answer to the question was really simple. I could answer that question. I'd say we were going to hunt everyone down and utilize every force that we have within law enforcement to resolve and stop and quell these particular offenses.
This man did not ask him whether you were anti-Semite.
He took it personally.
But see, when someone deflects,
Netanyahu, the conference he had.
Netanyahu. But see, Netanyahu he's a smart one. Netanyahu, he's going to have the press conference before he even speaks to Trump.
Yes.
So, in other words, you're not even important enough. Let's go out here and do this FaceTime for the people.
Yes, yes.
And Trump's trying to throw over a little question over. You're going to think about that settlement. And
I want the side, one state or whatever
Netanyahu
you
said not.
What was that?
Netanyahu, that's why Netanyahu deflected for Trump and said, Kushner, I've known him since he's a young boy.
He actually said that in the press conference?
Yes, he did. He was basically like, we don't need to talk to you. We'll talk to your son-in-law. Now we got to talk about the son-in-law too, because there is a what we call a nepotism law that does not allow the president to give an official position to a relative.
Well, they did an end run around that. At least that at the 45th administration.
Well, what he's trying to say is that the law says that they cannot have a position in an agency, and that the White House is not an agency.
Well, he did an end run around that. Okay.
Yeah, but see, a lie is a lie. See, he's playing. He is like.
That's nuanced.
I'm telling you, this man he's got you drinking the Kool-Aid.
There are more important things.
Stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
We must all
impeach.
Of these lies are there to deflect
and
deflect from the more important issues.
We must impeach.
And this Flynn situation, that's a very important issue. Not just because he lied, not just because he withheld the truth.
But he knows
from
when he's lying.
Because this Russia connection between the 45th and his team must be investigated. That's what's important.
Comey was called in. Comey was called in. And that's why
Comey, the FBI director.
Comey was called in, and that's why little Marco is now saying that he wants an investigation. Because see, little Marco was also on Marco Rubio.
Okay.
Marco Rubio from Florida was on that. He was on that Trump train, but after speaking with Comey. Now, see, Comey knows what everybody else doesn't know, because remember, Comey is the one who took down Hillary.
Yes.
Comey took down Hillary, and there's no way, nothing else to say about it because he said he might have something
over
found
emails.
out.
Over emails.
So if Comey can take down Hillary over emails,
somewhat
surely
insignificant compared to
talking to a foreign entity about U.S. business is bordering the Logan Act.
Well, the Logan Act specifically says no unauthorized citizen, and these particular talks took place before the 45th
so he was a citizen. So that Glenn was a citizen.
No unauthorized citizen may negotiate with a foreign entity
regarding governmental business
that we, meaning the United States, has
we
a
only
dispute
have
with,
one president at a
that
time.
we as the United States have a dispute with. At the time,
President Obama was president, and what he said to them, and I haven't read the I don't know if it's been given to the public, but based on what has been told, that for those who have read it
from the media, which we are going to rely on,
and from Marco Rubio, who was in the room with the conference with Comey, that there was discussion regarding that once 45 got in, that they would not have to worry about the sanctions that President Obama, one president at a time. Now, he didn't become president until the 20th of January. This was, and the information
again,
that he knew.
I'd interpret that as unauthorized contact.
Absolutely.
I'd interpret that as negotiating
and
with,
a citizen who should have known after having spent years of being in the government.
And I would likewise interpret that as Russia being an entity which we have a dispute with.
And I would also interpret it because he said that he didn't have the conversations. So that's a lie. That
but you
is
know what
perjury.
The significant thing
but
about
did he
that
say
law?
that to Comey? Because if he said that to Comey,
the FBI.
that's perjury. That's
now,
perjury.
There's a
Him saying it to United States citizens is one thing.
USC, there's a United States code, there's a statute, a federal statute talking about making false statements. And essentially it says that if you make any false statements knowingly to the FBI,
not only did he know,
it's a crime.
45 knew. 45 was
so you're
told.
Trying to say that he should be charged, the Trump should be charged.
Exactly.
I mean,
because
the 45th.
45 allowed someone under his guise to go to the American people and go on national television.
That might be taking it a little far, but I follow you.
But the omission and commission, the lie did not come directly from him, but with the knowledge that what he was going to say was a lie. When the president is putting you before the United States of America and allowing you to tell a lie.
So you're talking about Pence, Priebus, and
Spicer, and Kellyanne. The
she's being counseled.
Oh my gosh, Kellyanne.
I think the entire cabinet needs to be counseled. At least his entire immediate staff needs to be counseled.
Please, Kellyanne. After you go get your hair did and get your makeup done.
Oh, good, stop.
Please, Kellyanne.
Stop. Let's not go there.
Let the House Nanny talk. I mean, at least Omarosa's face is beating her hair's done.
Okay.
I got to give it to the House Nanny. Come on, let the House Nanny talk. Because Kellyanne, oh gosh, girl.
What we want you to do, our audience, is to stay vigilant.
Please.
Stay informed.
We're going to tell you every time
do your research.
Some illegal
Visit with us. Visit
happens.
with us on Facebook. Visit with us on Twitter. Join us on Instagram. Subscribe to our programming on YouTube.
Keep the questions coming because we will not drink the Kool-Aid.
Take care. Oh, and upcoming on Wednesday at 4 p.m. on YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
It's actually going to come up. We're going to start bringing it up in the morning because what we found is that some people are working, and some at lunchtime people may want to watch it. So we're going to start. Launching it in the morning on Wednesday.
That's true. But on that particular day, the upcoming
show, those are tapes.
The tape shows. The upcoming show deals with the Electoral College. We're going to be talking about redistricting and some of the landlord-tenant issues as it relates to gentrification.
Because we still want to bring you law. But one of the things is, as we're talking every week, we're going to tell you every time this administration breaks a law that some of you may not even know is a law. And we're going to continue to explain the laws.
We can decipher what the truth is.
But we also want to continue to give you we want to continue to have a conversation on things that affect you as citizens in your everyday life, because you surely can't tell a lie when you go to court. You surely can't tell a lie if you fill out an application for a job. That is getting fired on the spot.
Didn't that start way back in the... That's a basic moral tenet. Tell the truth. Our president doesn't seem
George
to know
Washington,
that.
I cannot tell a lie.
It goes throughout history. No one likes a liar or appreciates one.
We thank you for listening. Myself, Judge T, and my co-host,
Rosalind Charles.
Sistas and Law. We'll see you next week live, but don't forget to watch us on Wednesday, starting in the morning on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
Take care.